Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Purpose Partner Path podcast, where we help women at crossroads become unshakable and live with strategic grace. As you know, I'm your host, Wendy Gladney, the Purpose Partner, and today's conversation is one I believe so many high achieving women need to hear. We're talking about leadership, we're talking about philanthropy, and we're talking about impact, but we're also talking about peace. Because what good is success if you lose yourself in the process? So, you know what we do each week? We go grab our cup of tea so we can get started with another great conversation. I am so excited.
Exhale, let go, and enjoy the purpose. Partner,
Today, I am humbled and honored to welcome Tammy Tumbling, President of the Orange County Community Foundation. And let me tell you, that's no small feat. I mean, she is an amazing woman. She is a leader overseeing more than $850 million in assets and guiding a Bold Vision 2030 strategic roadmap designed to deepen community impact across Orange County. And I'm also fortunate to call her my friend. Tammy, welcome to the show. Please just share with us and with our listeners just a little bit about your journey and who you are.
Thank you, Wendy. And I have my tea as well.
Yay.
Again, I'm Tammy Tumbling. I could just, the easiest way to describe my journey is one that was filled with love and perseverance. I grew up in with very humble beginnings. Grew a young kid in the city of Compton, from a single mom of siblings. There were five of us. And actually, I was a teen mom by the age of 17 and an orphan by the age of 19. And when I say orphan, it wasn't just me, Wendy. It was my brothers and sisters who were younger than me, and I
Yeah.
had a baby. And
Yes.
what it took was a village to help raise me, continue to raise me, and help me with my brothers and sisters, and to help me with my little boy. So I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but Lord knows my mom sure taught us how to reach for
So
that
you
breast.
look good. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. She taught us a few things here and there. You don't have to be rich for someone to teach you about um, professional polish and class and how to
So true.
present yourself as a woman.
Yes.
And
And to
Mama
have
did all those things.
taste and class. That's not something you can buy.
Thank you for noticing. Thank you, Wendy. So I come from very humble beginnings, and I'm still the type of person that believes in staying close to the grassroots community because too much is given, much is required, and I also live by that. Luke 12:48. Too much is given, much is required. So I never step too far away from my humble beginnings.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I know that to be true about yourself. And you've been just so humble right now because you bring over 2 decades of leadership experience with corporate citizenship, utility operations, nonprofit leadership, and now you serve as the president of OCCF. And you're bringing all that to our conversation today to share with people. I know that you've also helped develop Vision 2030 that's anchored in 4 pillars. One of them is amplified giving. Number 2, donor engagement.
That's
Number
right.
3, community impact. And then number 4, operational excellence. So let me ask you, what crossroads did you have to navigate personally to step into this level of leadership?
Oh, Wendy, when I think about the crossroads for me, it was about really thinking about walking in my purpose. Personally, I had to decide. I was a Southern California Edison leader, a director, and I was there for 21 years.
It's when I met you.
To decide if I'm going to take the moment to walk in my purpose, which is, again, too much is given, much is required. And I wanted to give back in a purposeful, meaningful way. And the way that I was able to do it, it was to have the courage to step away from my corporate, cushy, comfortable uh, corporate job and step into a community foundation role which actually needed to be built from the ground up when it comes to operational excellence and strategic planning. And I really wanted to help Shelley Haas out, the president and CEO at the time. Love her.
Yes, yes, and she's a great leader too. So we're so happy for her. On this podcast, we talk about crossroads, which are those defining moments where you either shrink or you stretch, and we understand that.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So Tammy, when you were elevated into executive leadership, especially as the inaugural executive vice president and COO, and then of course to go on to become president, what mind shift did you have to do? What mindset shifts did you have to make?
My mindset shifts and also the crossroads for me was getting to a place where I could actually think about how do you fail and fall forward and not worry about the consequences. We worry more about the consequences of failing than thinking about, is it really something negative that comes out of failing, or if it's something positive like a lesson. And so I had to really gather myself and figure out, a person will lack creativity if they're not willing to fail. Creativity means going against the grain.
Yeah.
Creativity means trying new things, meeting new people, moving forward differently, not being a part of a status quo. But
Yeah.
you have to have the courage and get rid of the fear of failure
Yeah.
and think about it as something that's like you win every time. Because the way I look at failure now is it just adds to life experiences. How do you get life experiences if there's not something that you could have done better, or something, or someone that you met that you learned a lesson about, and those people cross your path, or these opportunities cross your path, you won't get the life's lessons.
No, no. And it's so funny that you would say that because, failure is a terminology that oftentimes people they don't understand that so many people failed at inventions and different things before the success actually came. And so, like you said, the key thing is, did you learn the lesson? Did you learn the lesson? And then another thing I would want to know is like, did you have to release any bad thought life or any habits that you had as you were continuing to elevate?
To Yes, I had to let go of the whole "don't worry, I got it." Even when I don't, we don't. But as Black women and as women, we will hold the burden of everything on our shoulders and not say, or throw out a SOS and say, hey, I need help. I need help, and here's where I am. Who can join me? Who can partner with me? But instead, we are so comfortable with handling it all on our own and say, I got this, when we don't.
I mean, it's so true. There's a saying, an African proverb, and I don't have it memorized, so I hope I don't mess it up too bad. But it's kind of like they say, if you want to go far, you go alone. But if you want to go deep, you go, with the group. So if you want to make a big impact, I think it is also important that you're careful who you surround yourself with that can end up picking you up along the way. So let me ask you, so because so many women are standing at crossroads right now, I mean, at this very moment, between obligation and alignment, between proving and having peace, between overcommitting and overflow. I mean, I know I've been there. I know that. And so what that makes me feel like is like when we're passionate about things and we want to do so much and we want to make a difference and we look at certain things and we say, oh, I can do that. Or I just like you said earlier, I got that or whatever. But how do we make sure that we set the right boundaries, Tammy, in order to not overcommit? How do we do that?
Here's what I've learned. There's a couple of things that happen with me. I can speak from my own experiences. It won't be everyone's experience. But I've had and had to get over my whole savior complex. Growing up as a young parent and then the parent of my siblings at a very young age, I took on a lot of adult responsibilities that created a savior complex for me. I've had to learn if people are asking for my help or if I volunteered myself and they didn't ask. Because a lot of times we raise our hands for things that no one invited us to the table to be a part of, but we get so excited and we want to fix, we want to save, we want. Right. And so I've had to learn to avoid burnout, to create healthy boundaries, all the things that we believe we're doing to help when actually we're hindering ourselves. And we also are creating unhealthy boundaries for ourselves because that savior complex, which,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, if you tell anything you tell me, Wendy, if I hear a problem in there, I'm trying to lean in and fix it. And you're like, but Tam, I just needed you to listen.
Right, right,
I didn't need, so I have learned that you have to get away from thinking that we can fix everything and we can save everyone, especially those that didn't solicit our help. Who does that?
yeah. And sometimes people aren't ready for it either, because timing is also, huge. It's about, are people even ready to receive it? And I know that I've heard you share over time that women often overcommit and that discomfort can lead to resentment, you
Yeah.
know? And I know that that's true. So, with that, if you could share like one boundary or one step that a woman listening today could start to practice in her life at this very moment to make sure that she's balanced. I'm going to call it balanced when it comes to trying to do so many things and help so many people. What's one word of wisdom that you would give?
Okay, one word of wisdom.
Or one sentence.
No, it's my superpower. I've just learned it. I've
Okay.
just learned it. My superpower is the superpower of no. No.
I love that. I love
Well,
that.
here's
I
why.
love that.
Here's why. I will find myself, and one of my closest friends, her name is Winnie. Winnie said, Tam, you are always exhausted and you're so helpful. You're wanting to be everybody's friend, make everything better for everybody else, but you leave nothing for yourself. She said, you have to start choosing a little bit of discomfort over resentment. Because I don't know if you ever do this, Wendy, but I do. I will say yes to so many things and to do and to help so many people. And then when I get up to that exact moment that I got to get in my car, put on the makeup, comb the hair, put on the flower, and I have no energy to do it,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
resentful.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No.
it sounded like a good idea at the time.
Yep. Hmm.
But now it's like, do I really need to do this? And why
Yeah.
did I say yes? So instead, the power of no has come into my vocabulary at a time when I need it the most. Because
Yeah.
I sometimes, Wendy, I am exhausted
Yeah.
because of the yeses that I give out when I don't necessarily need to. They respect you and love you. Your friends and your colleagues who respect you and love you, they will still respect you and love you all the same,
Yeah.
even if you give them a no.
And I had to learn that last year. And as you're aware, last year I went through some health challenges. I ended up having emergency surgery, and my whole life changed because I had never had surgery in my life. Even when I had children, they were natural. It just put me flat on my back. It put me flat on my back really for a couple of months. And so I had to say no. And that's hard because people like you, people like me, and people like a lot of the wonderful women that we associate with and hang with, we like you say, to fix. We volunteer, we join the board, we lead the committee, we host the fundraiser, we chair the gala. And somewhere along the way, like you said, we just get exhausted. And then we wonder why. We start saying, well, how did this happen? Well, all you got to do is go back and look at your calendar. And so what I've learned too is the difference between healthy service and self-sacrifice that breeds that resentment. So with you, what I would ask you is, I know, like you mentioned in the very beginning, you're a family person. You have a son, you have siblings that even look at you as mom. You also volunteer. You also are a leader at work. You also are part of a church and a circle of girlfriends and everything. Where do you draw that line where you say, okay, I've got to set this day aside for Tammy to recharge, for Tammy to rest. Because I know sometimes for me, it's hard for me to say, yes, I need to rest. I need a day of rest. I mean, there's a reason why they call it Sabbath, the day of rest. I mean, we are human beings. But with all of that you do, and you actually do it with a smile, like right now, you have a
All
smile,
the time.
prettiest
All the time.
smile. It's like, I mean, and I can even imagine you saying no to somebody with a smile. They're thinking she really means yes.
My friends will say, "All right, girl, I'm on my way to pick you up." That yes, I
Yeah.
can I
So
can put you smiling through the phone.
I know, and I can feel it. I can feel your energy even right now, and it's a beautiful one. So tell me, how do you, it's how and when do you draw that line?
For to draw the line, I have to first think about what it is that needs to be done. And there are three things that I look at. Is it purposeful for me?
Good one.
Meaningful? And does it take my breath away? Because if you say, "Hey Tam, can you want to go to the Grand Canyon, or do you want to go to Niagara Falls?" Places that are like, for me, the Niagara Falls were it's breathtaking to see in person.
I've never
Or
seen
if
it.
you want to go to the a museum or something that I'm going to just take in and it's breathtaking for me, or even to just sit and look at the vast size of an ocean and just watch the waves and listen to the sounds and smell the ocean breeze. Those things are breathtaking, and they're small and they're simple. So if it's not purposeful or meaningful or breathtaking for me, I say no. And here's why. I say no because I have to limit my energy now. When I was younger, you get that phone call, you jump up, you go visit relatives, you go solve their problem, you go to the hospital, you're there all night, or one of the adult children needs things, we drop what we're doing and we run, run, run. And now there is a separation between my physical energy and what mental energy I'm willing to provide. And that's where I'll use wisdom now versus physical. So I won't go and solve someone's problem and feel like I have to jump in my car and be there for them. I will talk to them over the phone and provide them with something that may have worked for me, that may work for them. Or if it's my adult children, it's the same thing. They're adults.
Yeah.
They have the foundation to make very good decisions, and they just may need my wisdom versus my physical energy.
And
So I
what?
protect it. I put boundaries on my physical.
And I was going to say, wisdom sometimes is way more needed than the physical, and sometimes it's underrated until you actually need it. And when I was listening to you, what I was kind of hearing from you too is that you, if it doesn't feed your soul, if it doesn't feed you to be able to continue, then that becomes a back burner or a no. And what that has led me to think about is when I talk about strategic grace. Grace doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything. Grace means you respond wisely. And that's what you're talking about. Strategic grace is power without pressure. And I believe when women choose peace, they become unshakable. So I want to go a little bit deeper into boundaries, because I know that you are also the founder of the African American Alliance Fund at
Yes.
OCCF. I personally have been benefited from that with the organization that we help young girls. But supporting Black-led and Black-served nonprofits, I know is not always easy because funding sometimes can be a challenge. But I know that you are personally committed and deeply committed to community and to impact. So how do you lead with your heart without carrying the weight of saving the community?
This would go back to, again, that physical energy. During the George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor senseless deaths, in lieu of, I try to multiply my efforts versus taking them physical, because again, that physical effort would have been for me to get out on the front line, throw on a mask,
Yeah.
get out there, Black Lives Matter, push, push, push. It was legitimately needed at the time.
Yes.
The world saw what happened. But what I found was most useful was to figure out a way to multiply what was needed. So with the African American Alliance Fund, it was about having the courage to stand up a Black fund in Orange County where a fund like that had never been set up before. It could have been catastrophic, but someone had to have the courage to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And so when you ask me about it being difficult, I think that the work that you do, Wendy, and all of our community leaders who are on the front line, I can't complain about anything being difficult, knowing every day what you all do to make lives better one by one. You guys are impacting so many people. So I don't see it as a problem for me to set up a fund with 25,000, turn it into almost 1.5 million, give away over $1 million to community organizations, not just in Orange County, because I know we're outside of Orange County.
Hmm.
So I know to go across the nation, across California, and we
Yeah.
have our sisters and brothers sitting in Africa. So
Yes.
to go around the world. So for me, it's never about the hard part. It's always about the fight. It's always about the struggle. And if we're not in there pushing and putting our voices at the table,
Yes.
that's my job.
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. Too much has been given to me. So in my heart of hearts, much is required. But
Yeah.
it can never be compared to what you're doing, all the other Black community leaders are doing. You guys are doing the heavy lift. I'm just out there trying to find resources to make sure I can support. So it's a pleasure. When I say this, it is honestly my pleasure to stand up and be the voice of our Black community when needed, and then step away and let you guys shine and continue to deliver the services you guys are delivering. So it's not a problem for me at all. If anything, I respect and admire each and every one of you who are doing the heavy lift out there in the community, because our people need you. We're in times right now.
Yeah.
These are not easy times, and
Yeah.
it's not going to get any easier over the next few years. So I salute and admire and respect all of you who are on the front line, and I'm going to keep doing my part.
Well, thank you. And I was going to say, what you were just sharing is you found your role. You know where you fit. And that's what all of us are supposed to do. It's like we're a tapestry. And sometimes you turn the tapestry over and it's all messed up, all those threads or whatever. But when you put it on the right side, when everything comes together, it's a beautiful picture. The problem becomes if I'm trying to be Tammy and I'm Wendy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let Wendy do Wendy,
That's
and let
right.
Tammy do Tammy. You know, because together we can
Yes.
support, we can fund, we can advocate, but we also have to remember we're not the Messiah. We're not the chosen one. We're just the one who's been chosen to come down here to do our part. And I know sometimes women, especially us women of color that are in leadership, we do feel so responsible for holding everything together.
I
And
got it. I got it.
yeah, and so can you give us a little bit of wisdom for the woman who's listening to this that is feeling guilty right now, but she knows she needs to step back because she's feeling it in her health, or she's feeling it in her marriage, or she's feeling it with her relationship with her children, or whatever it may be, and she's feeling guilty. Can you talk to that for just a moment about, not letting guilt control you?
And yes, absolutely. Because one thing that happens, Wendy, thank you for bringing this up. We have to show ourselves grace. The grace that how many people do we say once they have not come through on an assignment, or a family member that didn't do their part, or maybe husband forgot to pay a bill, the lights are out, or whatever it could be in your relationship, we show them grace. Why can we not show ourselves the same level of grace that we give to other people? And the secret is sometimes we give people grace that don't even deserve it. I'm just saying.
Well,
We literally-
no, because I'm an advocate of forgiveness, and you know that. And so
Absolutely.
sometimes people have told me, I would never forgive. I said, well, you know what? That's why God's put me in this little box over here of what I do, because He's taught me how to do that. And I think that what you're saying is sometimes the grace of understanding that you need to give yourself so that you don't feel guilty. It can also be a learned behavior. You have to talk to yourself. You have to understand. If you need professional help, you need to get that, or have someone that that speaks life into your life, that is saying something positive. And when I think about the three pillars of the purpose partner, we talk about crossroads, and then we talk about being unshakable. And I think that's also, and then grace, strategic grace is part of, that's the third pillar. But when I'm dealing with unshakable, that doesn't mean that we're hard. Just because we say no, or whatever, it doesn't mean that we're hard. It means we're grounded. Tammy, how do you stay grounded while leading an organization and stewarding $850 million in assets?
I stay grounded by staying close to my childhood friends that I've known for 40 years. They're called the squad. We stay very close. So they know me from being a kid in high school, sitting in the front row, trying to focus on an algebra exam, and always been an overachiever. But I would always take myself more seriously than my friends would. They're like, that's just how she is. She's been wearing dress shoes at the picnic since she was 12.
Yeah. You set the
Or,
standard. Uh-huh.
no, it's just actually they keep me in a place where I can make light of myself and laugh at the things that we take too seriously about ourselves that we should let go of. And then staying close to my family. I don't, my friends who have been my childhood friends almost all my life for over 40 years, and very close to my siblings. I've never stepped away from my family, my children. They just know me as mom. I get a lot of awards and a lot of accolades, but that's really the rewards. I go and I like to participate because I'm so proud of each of you guys, just to be a part of whatever you're doing. But actually, I don't hang everything all over my house, because when I come home, is home, and I'm mom, and I'm the sister. I'm Tammy. I'm T Squad. I'm Tammy as a squad member. But I try to stay very grounded in who I am by being around people who know me.
Yes. And that is so important. And so you've kind of shared with us how you stay grounded, as it relates to leading, in a high profile position. But now let's look at, how do you center yourself when you're now out there dealing with donor engagement or asset growth or community partnerships, operational excellence, risk management, all the things that, would fall under, this is what Tammy does. This is what Tammy does. How do you center yourself that way? Not just to stay grounded so that you don't have a big head because you're the one at the top or any of that, but to do the day-to-day work that you have to do.
Oh my gosh, Wendy, it's about strategy. You have to be strategic in order to get the things that you want to get done that are very big. Because when I think about amplified giving and growing our asset base to almost $1 billion or more over the next few years, and looking at community impact, having a very strong donor engagement experience for our donor, and then operational excellence is about how do we perform at the highest level so that we always consistently deliver. It's about strategy first, and then we drill down to business planning. So a 5-year plan, a 1-year plan that ties into employees' performance plan. So 100% of my focus is on people. If I can train, make sure we all know the strategic direction, you provide them with daily feedback, you make sure that everybody is on the same page with messaging and about execution. I can get more things done by empowering top talent. We try to put top talent in every city. There's only 35 of us, which people think there's like tons of us. But every executive underneath me is empowered to do their job. We do business planning to make sure that we're strategically integrated in so there's no silos. And then they meet with me once a week, and where if there's problems, remember I'm a fixer, so they'll come in if they have a problem, and they know to come in with the solution. Like, give me your solution, don't, and so the way the workforce is set up is employees are empowered to perform, and we believe in putting top talent in every seat, and everybody knows what everyone knows, and that's how you get everyone to move in the same direction, and you can get a lot of work done. So that's how I stay centered on all the moving parts, because I also have HR, I have the IT department, the marketing communications team. I have everything is in my portfolio, but in order for us to win every single day, you have to know how to rally your team, just like we rally community, right?
Yeah.
We do community organizing and community building. I use that same concept internally, but I put strategy with it that will help us to execute at a high level.
It's amazing how many people do not even put in systems or strategy for sustainability. And that's part of what I'm hearing from you. You know, you have your systems, you have strategy, and that's going to be what really helps for sustainability. So, as we begin to close, if you don't mind, I'd like to just kind of ask you a few quick questions that you just kind of fire off and ask, you know, just whatever comes to your mind, because I like to leave people with just a few little nuggets and bullet points. So you just fill in the blank. Leadership requires,
Courage.
oh, I like that.
Every time. Every time.
Peace is,
Healthy boundaries. You got to set them. It's a must.
okay, and the next one is a boundary is.
Using the power of no.
I love that. The most powerful word women can learn to say is,
It is no.
yeah.
It's the power of no.
And for you, what does strategic grace look like?
Strategic grace for me is having the ability to look around and recognize who's smarter than you in the room, who can come up with more creative ideas, and they have the energy, the power, and the drive to execute, which gives me an opportunity to provide wisdom, oversight, and direction.
Wow, I love that. And you know what? I want you in my room. That's for sure. Because I love what you
I
bring
have
to
so
the
much fun.
table. So before we close, I just want to ask you, do you have any closing thoughts that you really want to just leave with the woman who's listening today, who's just kind of wondering, you know, wow, I'm not where she is. I don't know if I'll ever be where she is, but she's at a crossroad. What would you say to her?
If there's any women out there that has hit a crossroad or they're looking at where I am, look a little closer. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a friend to many, and I work. I have a job.
Yeah.
But really, I'm just like each of you, and I'm just trying to find my way just like everyone else is. But as I've grown into who I am as a full grown woman, I've just turned 60. I'm not ashamed of who I am and how old I am. I believe that you should be very comfortable with the whole identifying where the boundaries should be and being able to stick to them. And again, and my friend Bria, her name is Bria Nicknami. Bria said just this weekend to me, Tammy, make sure that when people are approaching you and you want to save them, what are you feeling? Is it fault, guilt, or are you looking at whether or not it's shame? Like, I'm ashamed that they're making me feel ashamed, or they're making me feel that it's my fault, or they're making me feel guilty.
Yeah.
Get rid of that, sister.
Yeah.
Get rid
Yeah.
of that. Get rid of that, because when you feel that, it makes us want to act.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's okay. Show yourself some grace. And
Yeah.
that'll help you. If you can define if someone's approaching you and you feel a fault, a guilt, or shame, so it's making you act, be still.
Yeah.
Be still.
No,
Don't do it.
and don't let toxic people control you or come into your life and do that. You know, it's just, oh. Well, I just want to say, wow, I can't believe how fast our time goes. I want to thank you so much for giving us a part of your day. I thank you for just who you are, not just to the world, but to me. I really, really appreciate you're a genuine soul, and everybody isn't. I mean, you're beautiful, but you're beautiful on the inside, and I want to thank you for that. And I just want to thank you for always taking time to make a difference when you can. And that's what's important, you know? So until next time, I'm
Till
Coach
next
Wendy,
time.
your purpose partner, reminding you that you do not have to overcommit to show your worth. Protect your peace, guard your grace, and walk boldly in your purpose. And if you haven't done so already, please go over to my website. Please subscribe. Please follow me also on my social medias at Wendy Gladney. And if you have a question, I'm here for you. Reach out. So thank you again, Tammy. God bless and have a wonderful day.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Exhale, let go, and enjoy the purpose.